Leorio from Hunter x Hunter, 4080 yen. Those are seriously long fingers, and as weird as it may seem, maybe getting fingered by him will feel really good. That's what she said. Hi and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to this week's Figure News Fix. We'll be taking a look at anime scale figure pre-orders between 14th to 19th of August 2023. Well, yeah, resin figures as well. For the genuine scale figures, there are very few figures on pre-order this week. We had nothing the first 3 days, Monday to Wednesday. Only Thursday and Friday we have figures. Meanwhile, for the resin stuff, yeah, quite a number to cover. Also for next weekend's Figure News Fix, I will be attending an anime convention in Kuala Lumpur, Eromanga. So a portion of that Figure News Fix will be filmed from elsewhere rather than my studio, right? Just an info for you guys in advance. Alright, so let's hop into AmiAmi.com now. In the top 10 rankings, from 2nd to 4th place are pop-up parades. Seems like people still pre-order pop-up parades, even though it is not really advisable. In 5th place, we have a low-cost Arknights figure from Myethos. That is something really nice to see. I would love to discuss about it in a second. In 6th place, that is Mitsuri Kanroji, a really expensive figure of her. Is that the cheaper or the more expensive one in the top 10? Let's have a look. Wow, the expensive one is the one that made it to the top 10. Interesting. And then rounding up the top 10, in 8th place, we have another low-cost Arknights figure. 10th place, an original character by lovely Chinese figure brand that is quite expensive as well. On 19th of August, Saturday, no scale figures. 3 figures in front, those are action figures by a relatively new Chinese brand called Die Body Production. Go and check it out yourself. I'm not going to cover action figures over here. And then moving up to Friday, as usual, we have the most figures on pre-order on Fridays. The first one here, Mitsuri Kanroji B style at 1/4 scale. This is the deluxe version where I'm getting something that looks like cotton candy to me as a base rather than effect parts, you know. This one is going for 55,000 yen by free ink, coming out next year, July 2024. And if you're not interested in this one because it is too pricey for you, you can slash off 11,000 yen by opting for a regular plain base without those cotton candy effect parts, right? Which one do I recommend? If you were to ask me, this is quite a difficult question. Yeah, I may be calling this a cotton candy base, but it is quite nice. Traditionally, I've never been a fan of effect parts. I made it really clear whenever I talk about figures by Shibuya Scramble Figure or Eastream. This one doesn't look too bad. It is not the worst looking effect part I've seen out there. But is it worth an additional 11,000 yen? I think only you can answer that question. To me, I don't think it is really that worth it. However, if you find a way to install your own LED lights, you know, in the base within the effect part over here and let it glow magenta, purple light, I think the figure might look quite nice as a display piece. So it really is up to you right here. 11,000 yen just for an effect part, really. Up next, from Macross Frontier, we have Rankali Anniversary Stage version, 1/7 scale by Good Smile. Normally 36,000 yen down to almost 30,000 yen. That is quite a substantial early bird pre-order discount. So maybe not a bad idea to pick up one if you are a long-time fan of this franchise. I think Macross Frontier is almost 20 years old by now, I think. I watched the anime so many years ago when I was still in college. This is a pair to that figure of Cheryl Nome which went on pre-order weeks ago. Yup, that one right there. I'm not sure if I like a figure being suspended on top of an acrylic plate with their name on it, but it is not too bad really when I think about it, because you want any visitors to your home to know the name of that character. Yeah, it is right there for everyone to see it. Not necessarily a bad thing. 36,000 yen is very overpriced for something like this before any discounts, but the reason for the high pricing is very simple. The first reason being old school anime fans, those who were fans of anime from 10 or 20 years ago, they are now rich working adults. They can afford them, so might as well make them pay up, you know. Just like how Digimon stuff are also quite expensive, yeah. And then the second reason is that you always price something very high and then you discount it back just to give a perception on value, right? This is a very common marketing tactic in supermarkets, in shopping malls. They overprice it first and then they tell you there is a sale of 30%, 50%. I believe the same thing is going on over here with this figure of Rankali. They did not even intend to sell this at 36,000 yen to begin with. The next one here, we are getting a pair of Arknights figures from Myethos, and these are low-cost scale figures at 1/10 scale. This one right here is Angelina. Summertime version for just under 5,000 yen after a small discount, coming out in April next year. At 1/10 scale, this should be very similar size to pop-up rates, so it would be interesting to see if Myethos could get the quality done better than pop-up rates. I do believe they are able to. Just take a look at Weibo's Rise Up series as an example. Chinese brand, low cost, but the quality is there, right? And lately, we are looking at a rise of low cost scale figures. A number of brands are doing it. Kadokawa is doing it. Furyu is doing it with their Tenitol series. And then there is even low cost 1/4 scales by Animaster now. It is always nice to see value offerings for everyone who are not necessarily being able to afford expensive scale figures. Personally, I would advise you guys to cut down on the number of figures you buy and focus your budget on higher quality stuff which might be more expensive, but then again, everyone has a limit on how much they can pay for a figure. So I'm not against low cost figures like this at all. I think more choices is always a good thing for everyone. Those of you who want something better than the price figure but not too expensive at the same time, you look at the outfit of this figure over here. That is not easy to manufacture at a low cost. Yeah. And this one looks a lot better than the other character, but since it is only 5,000 yen each, you know, might as well get both. Of course, I am relatively interested, but 1/10 scale, 1/10. Yeah, it is on the small side of things. I have to think about it. Up next, from Jujutsu Kaisen, we have a 1/7 scale panda. I'm not sure if that is actually a panda. Looks more like a mutated form of a leopard or a lion or whatever that is. I'm not good with animals. This one is almost 30,000 yen by Shibuya Scramble figure. Yeah, I think there is indeed a panda in Jujutsu Kaisen, right? I did not watch the anime at all. No, I don't really watch shonen stuff in general. But then that panda probably transforms into something else that looks like this, I'm guessing over here. I still find it weird that this is being called a panda, but I get it. This is probably a transformed version of that original character. Because I think Kotobukiya made a figure of panda too, right? Under their Art FXJ series. 30,000 yen for this isn't too bad really. I think it looks amazing with that dust effect base, all the sand spewing up. I don't think the price is reasonable. Up next, from Yuru Camp, we have Shima Rin or Rin Shima Shibireko Camp version from Hobby, stock at just 19,000 yen. Alright, there is someone who commented on this figure in my Facebook page saying that what is wrong with her face? Her face looks so weird. Yeah, I think her cheeks are a bit too puffy to me. And when you look at it from an angle over here, it looks even weirder. Because this is one of those figures where a 2D translation into a 3D object does not necessarily turn out well, right? A figure like this will only look good at a very specific angle. Like from the front over here, I think she still looks okay, but once you turn the figure a bit, yeah, like this, it starts to look a bit weird because this is a conversion from 2D art. However, weird or not, I do think her cheeks are a bit too puffy over here. If they could modify the face a bit before release, this is still a relatively good looking figure of Shima Rin. Of course, I still prefer the one where she is on a scooter, a small electric motorcycle or something like that by Alter. That was way nicer. Up next, we have 3 pop-up rate figures. This is Leorio from Hunter x Hunter, 4,080 yen. And this is the very definition of an overpriced price figure. Yeah, just give a price figure a very nice box and packaging and they can sell it to you for 4,000, 5,000 yen. I'm not sure if this is worth 4,000 yen at all, and that right hand of his is so weird. Like, aren't those fingers way too long? Those are seriously long fingers, and as weird as it may seem, maybe getting fingered by him will feel really good. That's what she said. The next one from the same series, we have Kurapika, also 4,080 yen. Now, it would be interesting to see how they get those chains on his right fist, in his right hand done right. Yeah, not easy, right? But this one looks a lot better than that long finger dude earlier. And the third pop-up rate over here from Wataten, we have Noa Himesaka, also 4,080 yen. This is by Good Smile Arts Shanghai. Very interesting. It is not like Wataten is a Chinese anime, right? So what is up with this being made by Good Smile Arts Shanghai? Maybe they are just distributing the workload to other branches. This is quite a nice figure to have for 4,000 yen though. Up next, another pop-up rate, we have Berserk Zod. Oh, this is an L size, 1/8 scale by Max Factory, almost 8,000 yen. So, I did not watch Berserk. I have no idea about the creatures in that anime other than very macho looking male and female characters. I feel like this is just another kaiju figure at first glance to me. And the last figure for this Friday, Wife Aerof illustrated by Sora Nani Iro, 1/5.5 scale by Lovely, Chinese figure brand, 31,300 yen. 1/5.5 is very specific, and this is something I just learned today. Yeah, brand Hobby Sakura and Lovely. I don't know if Lovely is a branch of Hobby Sakura. There is a likelihood over there. And I think it makes sense because Hobby Sakura only makes safe for work figures. They don't make X-rated figures. So Lovely is in charge of that. I have no idea why Ami cropped off the figure. I think she looks fine over here, like not too X-rated at first glance. Yeah, there is almost no clothes, but the private parts are all nicely covered up. Not really my kind of figure. An elf? I love elves, but the character design for this one isn't really up to my taste. 1/5.5 for 31k is not too bad in terms of value. The height is 32 centimeters. Okay. So the figure is likely to be exactly 12 inches, 30 cm. The base is 2 cm also. But you know, female characters, they are shorter than male characters, right? So a 1/6 female character wouldn't be reaching 30 cm like male characters in terms of the size of the figure. Back to this page, moving up to August 17th. On the Thursday, 3 Kotobukiya figures. The first one over here, from Yu-Gi-Oh! We have Win the Wind Charmer. Win the Wind, or is it Wine? How do you pronounce that? 1/7 scale by Kotobukiya, 16,630 yen after a discount of 3,000 yen. Normally this is 20k. You know, I wasn't aware that Yu-Gi-Oh! Has such nice character designs, such a cute girl. Or is this a new character from a new series? Let me know. The only thing I know about Yu-Gi-Oh! Are their card games, right? Those cards collections. I used to play with them when I was back in primary school, elementary school. Not anymore today. Quite a nice character design. Like they are mixing, the mix of color green and brown over here works really well. Well, maybe it feels like looking at the human tree, you know. After all, trees are also brown and green. But I like this character design. The second one here, yeah, same color scheme. We have Oza, the Earth Charmer, 1/7 scale, same price as well, coming out next April. This is a tomboy, right? She looks almost like a guy over here until I noticed that how well stacked she is on the chest region. Yeah, those oppai over there. So this has to be a tomboy female character, right? Yeah, I still like Win a lot more than this one. But you know, if you buy one, you need the other one. They are almost like a pair over here. You can't live without the other. And the last figure on Ami for this week, yeah, very few. From Mushoku Tensei, we have Roxy Migodia at 1/8 scale by Kotobukiya, just under 16,000 yen. Yes, this is a re-release. The first release came out many years ago, became very rare and expensive because you can remove her clothes just like how it was depicted in the anime. Yeah, so naturally it would sell really well even when this figure wasn't really that high quality in the paint work. It wasn't very good actually. But for 16,000 yen, I guess that is acceptable. And of course, this one is the regular version, not the exclusive one. If you want the Kotobukiya online shop exclusive, you get it from Kotobukiya directly, or you can get it from niningame.com. Yeah, 147 US dollars is like 20,000 Japanese yen or so. And Ninin Game website is bugging out again, does not let me change to Japanese yen. See, it would not refresh at all. But this is about 20k. Would you pay an additional 5,000 yen for an extra faceplate? I'll leave it up to you to decide on that one. Personally, I would be fine without it. I think 5,000 yen is a ridiculous amount for a little bit of extra over there. Yeah, the paintwork on this is going to be quite generic, quite ordinary. Don't expect too much. And then up next, we shall move on to Ninin Game for a while for a few figures that are a bit X-rated. So there are some Nikan Shoujo figures which you have to check out yourself. But fortunately for this week, I can put up these two figures on screen because they are really not as bad in terms of how lewd they are. So this one over here, this is a very nice figure. I really like the character design over here, but unfortunately it has to be made by Insight, which is actually B-Full, right? Their figures are very fragile, they often break during shipping. Not to mention the paintwork and the quality are not that great either. This is original character, unguarded childhood friend Shiori at 1/6 scale, and there is also a 1/4 scale for 27,000 yen. You know, 27,000 yen for a 1/4 is excellent value. That is if you receive one in a single piece, that is. And it is quite a shame considering that some of Insight figures, right, the license they get their hands on, the character designs are fantastic. But whether the final product will reflect what we see in these product pictures are a different story altogether. This is one of my favorite Insight figures in the recent few months or so, right? I really like this one a lot. Sadly, I don't trust them enough to place a pre-order. And the second Nikan Shoujo over here by Insight, White Shirt Kanroji, 1/6 scale, 18,000 yen, or 1/4 at 27k, once again great value. But I like that childhood friend earlier a lot better. This is a bit too plain to my liking. The next one here from Binding and Native, we have a 1/4 scale characters selection, Cos Suma Nizuma to Echina cosplay lesson. Kagohara Misuzu, this is 42,400 yen. Wow, expensive. Coming out in June next year. You know, at first glance, I thought I was looking at Megumi Kato showing off her bottom. Yeah, it looks like her a bit. And what is up with this Dragon Ball doing here? I think they placed the wrong picture. Anyways, it is based on this artwork. And in the end, this is just a 1/4 scale bunny figure that is lewd. Well, since this figure is based on a Daki Makura art, her ass is like right in your face, you know? And even if they don't get her face done right, I doubt that anyone who bought this figure would care. Yeah, because that is what they're looking at right all the time when the figure is on your shelf. And the last anime figure for this day, this is a Sega exclusive, so it is not on Ami. Sega's premium scale figure division, S-Fire, Denji and Pochita 1/7 scale from Chainsaw Man. 173 US is about 24,000 Japanese yen or so. This isn't Ninin Game not letting you pay in Japanese yen, right? It is just their website bugging out somehow. It happens a lot. A few listings earlier, they were in yen, but this is in US dollars, so it happens. 24,000 yen for this, I'm not too sure because the figure does not look that high quality to me. It almost looks like a slightly more detailed version of a price figure. I'm not too sure about this one costing 24k. This looks like something that shouldn't cost more than 20,000 yen to me. But hey, exclusive. Exclusivity is a perfect reason to increase prices. And that is all for anime scale figures on pre-order this week. Now we shall move on to third-party resin figures. As usual, there will be affiliate pre-order links down in the description below for every single resin figure I'm about to cover in today's video. And that is all for genuine anime scale figures on pre-order. Now we move on to third-party resin figures. As usual, there will be affiliate pre-order links down in the descriptions below. Do make use of them if you are interested in any of the resin figures I'm about to cover in today's video. Now we are in the website and we go down to the newest pre-orders section, view all. As usual, there are a lot of stuff over here and I have already selected the figures I want to cover, mostly all female characters. I'm skipping past the other male characters and non-humans because otherwise this video would go on and on for way too long, several hours even, too many stuff, right? The first figure over here, this is an interesting one. I kind of like the way the figure is being set up, but at the same time, I have questions. From Sai Kersey Studio, we have Kafka from Honkai Star Rail at 1/6 scale, only $153 US, which is very affordable. The way this figure is being set up, right? Battle damage, torn clothes, and exposed private parts. This reminds me of this classic anime called Ikitozen, Ichi Tangquan. Ikitozen are edgy and also martial arts anime, which I really loved. There are like 4 seasons plus OVS and so on, maybe more than that. And this figure, yeah, the setup is very similar to Ikitozen, right? However, the one question for this figure is that whether this is something legit, in the sense that is this actually a genuine sculpture, a genuine art from the company who made this figure, rather than being a stolen art, for example, because they are showing us this comic strip over here. And then they're implying that this figure is based on one of the scenes in this comic strip. But where did this comic strip originate from? Yeah, is this stolen art in short? I'm not sure, because we don't really know what the third-party brands are doing behind the scenes, and as long we don't know what the licensing terms is like, or whether they designed this figure on their own, we can't be sure, right? So I hope that I'm not promoting something unethical over here. I'm just doing my coverage as usual. Personally, I do like this figure a lot, and I hope that it is not based on stolen stuff, yeah. The next one over here, this is a licensed resin figure. Kamuro Studio from King of Fighters, we have Mien. 1/4 scale, and this one is going for $593 US, man. I don't really play the game KOF, but the character design on this is fire. This is fantastic. Yeah, we are getting a lot of pictures over here. I love this so much, right? Of course, I'm not going to spend $600 US on a statue or a scale figure of a character that is far from my favorite character. If this was a licensed 1/4 scale Ishtar from FGO, Erish Gigal even, yeah, $600 I might consider, but for a character that is far from my favorite, yeah, no chance I'm dropping $600 on this. However, for KOF fans, man, this is an excellent purchase by all means. For licensed stuff, right, you don't have to worry about the figure turning out to be crappy in any way. Usually they are not. And with this mask over here, is this based on some traditional outfit from Southeast Asia? Is this Thai or Cambodian? I'm not sure, but it looks like one to me. And this is something really different. I've never seen anything like this before in anime character design. The next one here from Cool Couple Studio, we have Kisaki from Blue Archive at 1/6 scale, no price yet, only a $67 deposit, and I hope this isn't even close to $200. This should be $150 or less, and I think $150 US is really pushing it, because I feel like I'm looking at a price figure or even a pop-up rate, right? Yes, resin is more expensive than PVC as a material, but seriously, even as a Blue Archive fan, yeah, I'm sort of a fan of a number of their character designs. I don't think this is worth more than $150, maybe less than that. The problem here is that the deposit is $67, and the deposit is normally about 1/3 to 1/4 of the full price of the figure. You multiply that by 3, minimum $180 to $200 US, which I think is overpriced for what you're getting. Yeah. The next one here, we are only getting an art, not even a prototype or a painted sample yet. Cool Couple Studio as well, Nahida from Genshin Impact, I call her Leaf Lolly. Okay, this one is also a $67 US deposit, but we need more pictures before I can say anything about this figure, right? The next one here, this is also not a very good looking figure of Boa Hancock. There are many excellent scales of her at $200 US only, you know. But at least this one is cheap From Nedron Studio, Boa Hancock. No scale mentioned here, only 15 centimeters head height. For Boa Hancock only, this is $93. And if you want her with Salome, this thing over here, it is $135, which is still very affordable. When I enlarge this picture over here, I also feel like I'm looking at a price figure, like a higher tier price figure, maybe Ban Presto, Ichiban Kuji, that level, right? Not as bad as those cheaper price figures, but at the same time, not even close to scale figures out there. But if you get this as a set over here, for $135, I don't think the value offering is too bad over here. The problem isn't the price or this figure, the problem is that there are better options out there, yeah. The next one here, also no sample pictures, only an artwork. Yae Miko from Genshin Impact by Bubble Dream Studio. I think this brand, Bubble Dream Studio, every single figure they make are in this chibi style kind of, which I think is very adorable, but we need more pictures before I can comment any further. There is another very similar figure I'm about to cover soon that looks like this, and I think it is quite attractive. Up next, from Goza Studio, we have Albedo from Overlord. This one does not have a price yet. There's a black or a white version. Alright, so let's have a look over here. Oh, the black one is amazing. You see, there are way too many figures of Albedo already, even among the genuine figure market. So I'm not sure why they even bothered to give this character a try with the third-party figure market. But I suppose that fans of Albedo will still buy it anyway, right? Well, let's hope that the wings do not break during shipping for this particular figure over here. The next one here, from Coco Dio Studio, we have another Leaf Lolly figure from Genshin Impact. This is going for $119. But you know, when I look at this entire figure as a whole package, I feel like I'm paying 30% of the price for the figure and the remaining 70% for a tree branch. Yeah, this does not look very good if I have to be honest. I don't think this is a good purchase at all, right? What do you think? The next one here is another Albedo figure from Overlord, but at least this is a 1x4 scale by Sunbird Studio. Very early bird pre-order, no price yet, and this is the only teaser pic we get. Albedo being a character with so many figures out there, this one makes a lot more sense than that 1x6 scale earlier because this is a 1x4. And for any reason, if you did not like what Free Ink did with the 1x4 scale Albedo, then you have options like this out there. So this one, we'll see. I want to see more pictures of this figure, but her wings look fantastic over here. The details on the wings are quite promising. The next one here from Lamy Studio, yeah, another chibi figure of Yae Miko from Genshin Impact, and this one is looking fantastic for only $107. Alright, this is part of a set if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there you go. There are many characters. Leaf Lolly is coming soon. This could be a very nice set to collect given that they are only about $100 each. Up next is a bust figure of Texas from Arknights by Y Studio. So the scale here is not mentioned, but this thing is 18 centimeters. Personally, I've never been a fan of bust figures. I don't know why some people like them, but yeah, at least among collectors of Marvel and DC Comics, right, there are quite a number of bust figure collectors out there, like the head and the upper torso of Iron Man or Batman, something like that. If you collect bust figures, right, let me know why you like them. For me, maybe I'm too closed-minded to understand why they are appealing to some people. The next one over here, this is one of the best 1x6 scale resin figures this week. Just for being unique, for being different from everyone else. They just decided to go with a seasonal anime character which was well known maybe a couple of years ago and now nobody remembers her anymore. But I really appreciate this figure over here. Izumi Sagiri from Eromanga Sensei, a 1x6 scale by Crazy Rabbit Studio. No price yet, just a $100 deposit. Alright, so with this one over here, I still remember the anime very well. Between two versions we're getting, version A and version B, the only difference is the faceplate, and I prefer this faceplate a lot more, yeah. It seems like she is reliving herself after watching some adult stuff on her laptop over there. You see, between these two face plates over here, yeah, not just the face but the hand position is a bit different. Of course, I would prefer this one a lot more. For me, the face expression is everything about this figure over here. Naturally, if I could have both, if there is a package that lets me to have parts from both versions, I would go for that deluxe package, right? But it seems like that is not an option over here. Up next, another Kafka figure from Honkai Star Rail. I've lost count how many are there. I also pre-ordered one, by the way, by Imagination Studio. This one here is by Dragon Studio and Pop Studio. No price yet, and there are two different figures over here, right? Let's go through the pictures. This is the realistic version and she is standing. I don't think this one is that attractive. This one, however, is a lot nicer. Yeah. However, we are not getting... Okay, we are getting pictures of her face too. This is also a realistic version, but the details on her outfit in this one is a lot better. So if I had to choose between the two, of course, I would go for this one. The weird part over here is that they have a deposit for only one single item, but there are two different figures over here. So which figure is the deposit supposed to be for? Hopefully they update this page as soon as possible because this is a bit confusing. Up next, we have another early bird pre-order, Android 18 from Dragon Ball. This is by Jingxi Studio, no price yet. And this is the only picture we get. We need more product pictures. Up next, from Black Diamond Studio, we have a 1x4 scale figure of Shenhe from Genshin Impact. Okay, A version is going for $478 US. This picture over here, this casual outfit, that is version A. Version B is $363 US. That is actually the bikini version. And the EX version, you get both for $713 US. Now let's take a look at the pictures over here, and if you could only choose one, of course I would tell you to get the casual wear version, right? Bikini version, like what is this even? The bikini is so thick, the material is so thick. At the same time, they could not make the material any thinner or it will break very easily, right? After all, this is resin. So if you could only choose one, this is the way to go. This is the full body figure. However, the face on this figure of Shenhe isn't that great in my opinion. And even if you choose to skip this one, I won't blame you at all. Yeah, I think the face on this figure of her could be a lot better. The next figure, this is also one of the best this week, together with the Izumi Sagiri earlier, right? I covered this figure last week as an early bird teaser figure. I wasn't expecting this to be Elizabeth from the 7 Deadly Sins. I thought this was an original character when they released a teaser pic last week, right? So this is something different for once by Pointer Bear Studio at 1x6 scale, right? Yep, 1x6 scale. The standard version is $248 US, and then the EX version is $306. For an additional $50 US, you get a nude version, a nude torso for this figure. Even if you're buying the standard one only, you're getting the entire setup, including the bar desk, which is really nice, right? I did mention it last week, I kind of want the bar desk more than the figure itself, but now that I know this is Elizabeth, I love this so much. Are there any figures of Elizabeth out there by genuine figure brands? I don't recall any, but if I'm wrong, please do let me know down in the comments below. Personally, this is something which I feel that the brand behind this figure will not mess up the face because there is only one eye, the other eye is covered. And this isn't an overly complicated figure to make, so I don't see them messing up this figure. The next one over here, this figure of Raiden Shogun, I actually covered this a week or two ago, right? It was a teaser pic and there were no price yet. Now we have an official price of $172 US. But then again, this is just a figure of Raiden Shogun in naked apron with her sword shoved up her ass. I'm not sure why I would recommend this figure other than getting that Ahegao faceplate if you love that. We can't really see it much over here. Yeah, that Ahegao faceplate over there. Personally, I would say skip this one and go for better figures of her. There are so many choices for Raiden Shogun. The next one over here, this figure went viral on my Facebook page. I wasn't expecting thousands of shares for this figure. Yeah, it is kind of hilarious, the whole setup, but still, over 1,800 shares by now. I think it is kind of crazy, right? So from Starry Sky Studio, we have this figure of Ganyu from Genshin Impact. 2 different scales. You can get her at 1/7 scale for $173 or at 1/4, a very affordable $298. Let's just call it $300, right? So this at 1/4 scale for $300 is very affordable. Yeah, there we go. The height for the 1/7 is 41 centimeters. Damn. Yeah, I would say the 1/4 scale is better value for money over here. There is a big difference. I'm not sure why something like this exists, but the fact that she went viral on my page shows that eventually they will sell quite a number of this figure of Ganyu. Yeah. What do I know, right? There are so many different kinds of people out there. The next one here is a very similar figure by Starry Sky Studio. This is Yoimiya. And also 1/7 scale for $173, same price. And then you can get the 1/7 scale with a unique tatami mat, the Type B, for $206. Type C is 1/4 scale at $310. Yeah. So once again, we have a nearly nude character from Genshin Impact pulling off this bow pose over here. Is this better or is Ganyu better? I'm not really sure how to decide right here. I think Ganyu is a bit better in terms of the pose, how unique it is. The face on this Yoimiya is quite nice. I like it a lot. I prefer this over those realistic faces. Up next, we have an original character by PJ Studio, Original Nyx or NYX, $674 at 1/4 scale. Now, this is an amazing looking character design for sure. Yeah. It almost feels like I'm looking at a character from a game, right? From a MMORPG game like Warcraft, for example. I'm just enjoying the pictures over here. There is no way I'm going to purchase one, right? I'll just enjoy the pictures. Yeah, this is a very nice 1/4 scale, perhaps one of the better ones this week. Up next, from DT Studio and Ume Studio, this studio is known for 1/4 scales of anime and game characters with realistic faces. They have done so many with Genshin characters already. We have Artoria Pendragon, Saber Alter, and Saber Lily, 2 different outfits, and you get to choose 2 different figures over here, right? There are 2 completely different figures. I'm a bit confused over here. The Dark Knight over here, full price is $593. And I'm assuming 593 is this figure you're getting over here in this picture. And then there is a Heartbeat Royal Sister, so-called Heartbeat Royal Sister, with the price of 441 only. And I believe that is a completely different figure, this one over here. Yeah, this is the cheaper version, and that is the natural conclusion I came to because this is a simpler figure with less parts, so naturally this is cheaper, right? And then there is an EX version, $769, which I assume you're getting both best value, right? This actually looks quite nice, I'm not going to lie, right? I'm not a fan of realistic faces, but I won't deny this figure looks amazing. Of course, castable, a must-have feature. You see, we are getting this picture over here. Saber Alter and Saber Lily, yet we can only pre-order Saber Alter. I'm assuming there will be a new set of prices for Saber Lily later. I like Saber, I'm a fan of FGO, and this is quite hard to resist, seriously. The next one here from Whale Song Studio, we have Proud Dark Elf, Queen Olga Discordia from Kuroinu series. Oh yeah, baby. Did anyone of you watch Kuroinu series? If you did, you already know what it is. Yeah. So the standard version is $359, EX version $534. This is a 1/4 scale, very nice. Okay, so with this figure of Dark Elf over here, which I like a lot, the reason to buy one is very simple. That Ahegao face option. Yeah, that alone is worth your money so much. I am a big fan of Ahegao faces, you know. Overall, I really like the sculpt of this figure. If only I have pockets deep enough to buy one. Up next, we have something from Honkai Star Rail. This is Tingyun from Bluefin Studio. Okay, this is actually an update. I think I covered this figure a week ago as well. There is now A version, B version, and EX version. Must be the nude one, right? Let's go through the pictures. Yeah. Okay. Normally, I would recommend you guys to buy the normal version and ignore the nude one, but the pose on the nude one is so attractive. This one over here. Wow. Get the EX version. Get both. Man, I love the face expression and the pose on this one so much. I hope that they don't mess up the face. This one is starting to look a bit too ordinary now that I've seen this one. Oh, this is lovely. This is lovely. No price yet. All we know that this is 1/6 skill. Up next, from Yasu Studio, we have Tsunade from Naruto. This is going for $265 at 1/6 skill. Now, this is a really nice figure of Tsunade. And the entire package with that backdrop over there for $265 is quite reasonable. Yeah, I don't collect Naruto. Okay. Of course, this is going to be customable for sure. There you go, customable. Yeah, excellent value all around for $265. Up next, from Monkey D Studio. Okay, this is a very early bird pre-order. We are only getting a single teaser pic. Vinsmoke Reiju. Yeah, literally smoking over there. Vinsmoke Reiju. Can't comment much yet. No pictures, right? Next one. Alright, another. This is the third one. Another chibi figure of Yae Miko. No price yet. $34. This has to be the cheapest one yet by Chord Studio. We need more pictures. This is the only picture we are getting over here. Up next, from Nejuan Studio, another figure of Vinsmoke Reiju from One Piece. This one does not have a price yet, but at least we have quite a number of pictures going on. This looks like one of those sofas you can buy at 1/6 scale for $20 made by third-party figure brands, you know. Those accessories meant for Hot Toys action figures. Yeah, it looks very similar to me. I don't expect this figure to be an expensive one. This should be just under $150, $160 perhaps. And the last resin figure for today. Now this is spicy. Genshin Impact Raiden Shogun from Hyperspace Studio. Early bird pre-order, only a $100 deposit. I'm predicting this one to be about $300 or so. Now this kind of body sculpt, like, wow. This would be amazing at 1/4 scale. Glorious AF, but unfortunately this is a 1/6 scale figure according to the specs over here. Well, 1/6 is quite nice. It is already a pretty large figure, right? 1/4 would be even better. Yeah. So I can't wait to see more product pictures for this Raiden Shogun over here. This is thick. And that concludes Figure News Fix for this week. Which figure will you pre-order? Let me know down in the comments below. I shall see you guys again very soon. Until then, goodbye.